Hello friends, we'll be discussing the concept of product differentiation here. Now, what exactly product differentiation means? We have learned a lot about what product differentiation is, but what exactly it means is something that we'll be learning in depth right now. So, product differentiation is differentiating the product based on the features. Features may be different, features may be a lot, based on which how exactly you can segregate the product. So product A, product B, product C, product D. Based on all these products or other these products are there in front of you, if you have to differentiate these products, it will be done on the basis of how exactly you segregate them. So this is something that you need to understand. Let's start with the relevant information that we have for these specific topics. Let's start with the first example or other first information that is provided to us. Now, the concept of product differentiation covers all those criteria on the basis of which product of one firm can be distinguished from that of the other. Now, it is very simple. The concept of product differentiation states that if you have product A and product B, or rather, these products can be differentiated. Now, firm 1 is selling product A, firm 2 is selling product B. All right. The product of firms 1 and 2 can be differentiated on the basis of all the things that we can term. So product 1 or other product A has these features. Okay, product B has these features. Now, if all these things can be differentiated, that means we have differentiated the product of both the firms which are selling these products to the clients or consumers here. Now, the differentiation may be or may not be real. These differentiations that we're talking about, it may be real or it may not be real, is something that we have to understand. Now, a real differentiation refers to the technical features of the product, including its technical life and performance, durability, cost of operation and maintenance, and the like. That means a real differentiation, that means whatever real or rather on the real basis in terms of being practical and differentiating a product, it may be based on what? It may be based on the technical life, how much life the product has. That means technically how much life it has, how many years can it sustain, and performance, how exactly the performance of that specific product can be differentiated with the different product that we have in our line. Durability, is that product going to stay for a long time? Is it durable enough, or is it worth enough investing that much of money for such short duration or long duration? Exactly like that. Cost of operation, what is the cost of operating, or rather how much amount of money you have to put in building that product in the first place, and maintenance and the like. Maintenance is something that we can speak about, like how maintainable is that product. For maintaining a Mercedes, that will be a different cost altogether, but for maintaining a Maruti, it will be like very something that we can say that it is not heavy on your cost. But maintaining a Mercedes will be like handling an elephant there in the first place. It's a proverb, so don't really figure out how exactly things will be going handling like an elephant, but yes, it is as heavy as handling an elephant if you're handling a Mercedes there. And the likeness, again, do you like Tata Nano or would you like Mercedes Benz? Of course you would like Mercedes Benz here. So depending on the like and depending on the pricing, depending on the affordability, if you're able to take Mercedes, you will take Mercedes. Of course you won't take a Nano, but in case you have a restricted income on budget, you have options right from Tata Nano until Maruti Suzuki until Hyundai, something that comes under that budget, and out of that you have to select which one is preferable according to your need, according to your requirement. If you have something which is efficient with the parking, all right, which is like can be maneuvered in easiest possible way when it comes to handling traffic, you can absolutely take a Tata Nano. Why? Is because that can be easily handled. You cannot handle a Mercedes in a traffic. You cannot handle Mercedes while you have to figure out if you don't have more parking space. You cannot absolutely take care of that. Hence, a Tata Nano would fit into all those requirements there. Now, in contrast, a non-technical or imaginary differentiation may also be there. Apart from this, a non-technical or imaginative contrast or imaginative technical advancement will also be there. Imaginary differentiation may also be there to figure out how exactly things will be sorted in here. Now, the next part, or rather, it may take the form of brand names, trademarks, packing, size, shape, and so on. Now, if you have to differentiate, you can differentiate on the basis of the brand names, like Maruti versus Mercedes-Benz, Maruti versus Hyundai, Hyundai versus Tata, Tata versus Honda, Honda versus Maruti, or rather Honda versus Mercedes-Benz, Mercedes-Benz versus Jaguar, Lamborghini. So many names you have. You can just differentiate in terms of the brand names here. You can also differentiate in terms of the trademarks, the logos that are used. If you are using, or rather, if you like Maruti Suzuki trademark, you may also end up liking the Rolls-Royce trademark there. You may also end up liking the Mercedes-Benz trademark there. You may also end up liking Maserati or Jaguar or Lamborghini trademarks there. It depends on what kind of trademarks you like. It is absolutely the preference of the buyer here. Now, the packing again. Packing. So when you go and buy a Maruti car, all right, the packing, or rather, when we talk about the ambience that you face when you're buying a Maruti, is different as compared to when you're buying a Mercedes Benz there. But the reason why is because when you're buying a 50 lakh car, you get different preferential services as compared to buying a 10 lakh car. I'm not saying that I'm demeaning any of the companies, but yes, when you're buying a high end car, you get high end services as well when it is being delivered to you, when the packing is different. Hence, the packing also matters a lot when it comes to handling the guest and giving them a good experience in buying their car here. The size is different, of course. A 10 lakh car will be of different size. A 50 lakh car will be very huge, will be very comfortable, will be very rich in features here, shape, and so on, etc. So size, shape, it comprises of the same thing. Based on this, you are able to figure out how exactly things will be maneuvered in this portion. Now, the next part refers to the things that we will be discussing about. Let me just change the specifications related to this. The non-technical differentiation of product aims at adding to its subjective appeal to the buyer so that they are induced to increase its demand and ready to pay more for it. Now, the non-technical, whatever we discussed earlier are the technical aspects. Non-technical is something that we can discuss about, which can be induced, or rather these are the inducing factors for attracting or for catching these people, catching the consumer's eye on this. It may be non-technical ad, it may be the brilliant ad, it may be the maintenance ad that can be given. Like in recent days, we had this Ford ad coming up. All right, this Ford used to maintain, or rather the maintenance cost, there was a myth about Ford's maintenance being very, very high, but then they came up with such a brilliant idea which was emphasized on more of maintenance, because we already know that the quality of the car is very, very good. Ford as a company has a very good quality of cars. Now, when we are discussing more of such things, we understand that the maintenance of the car is very high. This is what the myth was about, but they got up with some very unique ideas that absolutely took over the market and made sure that yes, it is not very expensive to maintain a Maruti car, and similar to that, it is not very expensive to maintain a Ford car as well. 3,400, 4,000, somewhere around that much is the maintenance of that specific car for every 6 months. It's quite affordable. The same kind of car, or rather same kind of build, is not provided by Maruti in the first place, but the build that is provided by the Ford is absolutely extravagant as compared to the one that is provided by Maruti here. Hence, if the maintenance cost is somewhat similar, you would absolutely opt for Ford and not for Maruti Suzuki in the first place, considering the resale value is more for Maruti as compared to Ford. But yes, something that is going to stay with you for 5 years, you won't think of reselling that, and after 5 years down the line, you might have a lot of funds to absolutely go ahead and manage there. So that is something depends, or that is an individual's perspective again. We cannot bifurcate that thing, or rather we cannot emphasize more on that part ki someone won't be selling off the car at all. Hence, that is something that is an individual perspective based on the buying pattern. Now, in reality, however, the two forms of differentiation are so mixed up that it becomes nearly impossible to demarcate between the two. In reality, these technical and non-technical get mixed up so much that we are not able to differentiate. Most of the times you may have seen that you get confused in which car to buy. You're buying a sedan car, but there are so many different options available in front of you that you get confused which one to buy, which one. So earlier you were a Ford enthusiast, now you saw Maruti also is offerings, then you become Maruti enthusiast as well, you become Honda enthusiast as well, you become Toyota enthusiast as well. It depends on how exactly you're changing yourself, because the options that are available to you with these different companies, it is very huge, and there are a lot of people who are coming into. So this is what you need to check forward or apply your details into. Now, the next possible part is that, however, irrespective of the nature of the product differentiation, it is expected that it is adoption, or rather its adoption by a firm would increase its demand. Irrespective of the product features that we have here, irrespective of the product differentiation, we expect that its adoption by a firm would increase the demand. If we adopt certain features from different companies, if we adopt certain ideas from different companies, it is expected that it may increase the demand of the product here. It provides an opportunity of the firm to the firm rather to tell the buyers that the combination of the product quality and the price offered by it is better than similar combinations offered by a competing firm. Just like we understand that when it comes to expressing our product in terms of the people, or rather expressing our product in terms of, so if you're selling your product, you will absolutely say, you will absolutely be on that point that the product quality that you're offering and the price that you're offering it at is very much better as compared to any other competitor in the market, especially Maruti. So Maruti is offering the product, and the price that it is offered, it is very cheap, or it is very affordable, it is very appealing as a consumer. For me, it will be very appealing, because what am I getting? I'm getting all the features, I'm getting it at a cheap price, or rather at a reasonable price. The resale price, that means tomorrow if I have to sell the car, I know that for sure I'll be getting certain amount out of these cars as compared to any other car. If I'm selling a Mercedes, I don't know whether I'll be getting a resale value. If I'm getting a Chevrolet car for myself, tomorrow if I'm reselling that, the resale value is very low. So is it necessary for me to put that much of money in buying that car, and tomorrow if I have to sell the car, I'm not even able to gain around 50% or 30% of the car's value? Absolutely investment, or rather when you're making an investment, as I said, Indian people, or rather when we're talking about any kind of people, not just Indian here, the genre is not important, but you need to make sure that people have a mentality in their mind to understand that if you're spending so much of money, you need to make sure that whatever money is being spent is worth the investment here. Now, when we go on to the next part of this, let us understand few more details. On this account, therefore, a firm under the monopolistic competition is not a price taker. Because of all these things that we have discussed right now, a firm under monopolistic competition is never a price taker here. The demand curve for its product develop on an inverse relationship with the product prices. It is an inverse relationship, we can say. So if the demand is high, the price may go a little down, it may be reasonable. If the demand is less, the prices, or that may be, if the demand is less, why? Is because the prices may go up. If the price is less, the demand is high. If the price is high, the demand may go down. It depends on, again, it depends again on the quality of the product and the firm that you're dealing with. The firm can raise the price of its product without losing all of its customer. For this, we can say that Maruti Suzuki is the best example. Now, again, with the BS6 complaint engines, or rather the recent changes that were made in the engine's emission, we have BS6 compliant engines here. Now, Maruti got up with all those things. Mahindra got up with all those BS6 compliant vehicles now, and the prices have gone up by 30,000 or 40,000 to a max amount. Okay, because of this, do you think Maruti cars will stop selling out? No, it is not possible. Why? Is because it has already gained the market reputation. It has already gained those clients here in the market, and with such price increase, it is not possible to lose all its customer. Because of this much of price increase, Maruti is never going to lose all its customers here. This is what you need to understand. Now let me just rub this thing for you so that it is easy for us to understand how exactly we're going to define it. Now the next part refers to, and it has to lower its price if it wants to sell a larger quantity of its product. Again, inverse ratio, as I said, if you want to sell more quantity of your products, you have to lower your price, because you need to come to a reasonable level whereby people are able to afford. Because in a country like ours, there are majority of middle class section people as compared to richer section and as compared to poor people. So middle class section needs to have something which is more reasonable and not extravagant here in one such case. In other words, the demand curve of each firm is monopolistic, or rather in monopolistic competition corresponds to that for an industry. So the demand curve of every firm in the monopolistic competition will somehow reflect the demand curve of an industry as well. Why? Is because handful sellers are together compromising the whole industry itself. So this is what you need to understand, that demand curve of that firm or all these firms will constitute the demand curve of that industry itself. Now whole, or rather as a whole, with a difference that is comparatively more elastic, it is downward sloping and not parallel to x-axis. So when we have to define the demand curve of any industry in terms of monopolistic competition, it will be downward sloping. However, it won't be parallel to x-axis. That means it will never be like this, it will never be like this, it will be always like this, downward sloping. The lower the price, the more the quantity that is going on. So price and quantity, okay, the higher the price, the quantity will be less. The lower the price, the quantity that will be sold out or the quantity that will be going out will be higher. That's an inverse relationship that we have been always familiar with. Now, it must be also recalled that in monopolistic competition, the products of the firms are close substitutes to each other. In monopolistic competition, we have understood that the product of any specification, or rather product here, are close substitutes of each other. So this is the thing that you need to understand when it comes to monopolistic competition here. Now, as a result, they have high positive cross elasticity. Because of all these features that has been mentioned here, there is high possibilities of cross elasticity here. Now what exactly this thing means? The market for the product of one firm is not clearly separated from the market segments occupied by the products of its rival firms. Cross elasticity here in such cases means that the market occupied by one firm is not necessarily to be captured by some other firm. It can be captured by some other firm as well. So if this is the market segmentation, this is taken by Maruti, this is taken by Hyundai, this is taken by Chevy, and this is taken by Tata. Not necessary that this market cannot be captured by Hyundai. Not necessary that this market can be captured by Tata. It is absolutely fine. It is absolutely possible. Hence, this is thing, or rather this thing is known as cross elasticity in the first place. The firm under consideration can gain or lose a market share of its product by both its own price decision and those of its rival. So if Hyundai raises or rather increases the price, Maruti may have that much share of Hyundai in the first place. If Hyundai lowers down the price, people who were opting for Maruti will go for Hyundai. So based on the rivals competition, based on the rivals prices, it is absolutely possible for any firm to take over the market capture, or rather market capitalism, of any other firm in the first place here. Now, in addition to this, the demand condition for the product of a firm are affected by its own selling expenses. So if you have to figure out that if my own selling expenses, for example, if the selling expenses of Tata increases, then my cost of the product is also going to increase. If the cost of the product is going to increase, it is going to lead to people opting for Maruti or Hyundai or Chevy, because why will I pay something or rather more than the amount that is expected? If I'm paying 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs to Tata, if Tata starts charging me 10 lakhs for a car, I will go for Hyundai, I will go for Maruti, which is like very well known, which has like low maintenance, which has like something which is known as resale value. Of all these things are already available, I won't go for something which is new in the market, which has been recent in the market. Although the features that are provided are different, but I will still opt for going with Maruti and Hyundai, which are well known to me. So this is how the product differentiation is done. in terms of monopolistic market. So these are the details that you need to understand whenever you have to do a product segmentation, product differentiation, whenever it comes to analysis of market in terms of monopolistic competition. So that is all for the video. Thank you.